Okay, well, I want to welcome Dr. Hannah Roberts-Badon to our Chemistry 108 class virtually. As I mentioned, this class is all majors. They're all, for the most part, they're all freshman majors in both chemistry and biochemistry. And so could you tell the students a little bit about when you were an undergraduate major here at the University of Southern Mississippi?
So I started at Southern in 2011 as a freshman, and I ended up being a biochemistry major, finished my 4 years in 2015, and then ended up going straight to medical school.
Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. So why did you pick biochemistry as your major when you were here if you wanted to go to medical school? What was the attraction of the major for you?
So back when I was applying to medical school, and a little bit of it has changed now as far as prerequisites are concerned, several biochemistry courses were required. Of course, several chemistry courses were required. And so it really fit, to do with my professional life the best, because I knew going into college that I wanted to start a career in medicine at some point, whether that was more research-based or, more clinically based. And so really biochemistry fit the mold with giving me enough biology courses and enough chemistry courses, and then getting my feet wet with biochem, which is a first-year medical school course now. So.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you. When did you start getting involved with undergraduate research?
So I think I was actually still in my freshman year, or right going into my sophomore year. And that was with Dr. Carl Wallace in his lab. He was actually my freshman chemistry teacher. And I kind of had a rocky start. I did very poorly on my first couple exams and had to really apply myself for Dr. Wallace's class. And we just ended up hitting it off. And I pulled up my grades to an A. Don't really know how. A lot of sleepless nights and caffeine, I assume. And then I ended up working in his lab until I graduated.
Yeah, so that was kind of somewhat unique, right? Being a biochemistry emphasis and doing basically inorganic type research, correct?
That's right. That's right.
And ultimately led to a Goldwater Scholarship, if I remember correctly.
It did, a Goldwater Scholarship in my sophomore year. So I must have started working with him sort of in the spring of my freshman year. And, at the time I was very interested in pursuing an MD PhD. Was my original goal in college, and I wanted to be heavily involved in research as a physician. And so, working in that lab exposed me to, learning how to write papers and apply for grants and, try to be featured in different journals, and of course set me up for my honors college thesis. I don't know if that's still a thing, but it certainly was when I went to school. And so, it was a great opportunity, and it's still, parts of that and that experience I gained is still something I use today. So it was really important for me. Okay,
fantastic. So how did the undergraduate program here at Southern prepare you for your career as a physician?
So, coming from high school, I went to a small high school, Summer High School, which is in Lamar County. High school, I studied, but making the grade really wasn't super difficult for me. And it was in college, especially in that honors chemistry course with Dr. Carl Wallace, and also with organic chemistry with Dr. Masterson. And so it really taught me to apply myself. I learned how to study. I learned how to apply that knowledge in more of a theoretical way instead of just being able to regurgitate material on a multiple choice exam, which is so important for medicine, being able to take in values and think about them critically and apply them to a real life scenario, being a patient now. And especially, this undergraduate research experience I got, even though I'm not an MD PhD, I'm an MD now. I still do research. I've done several projects since starting medical school. I've been published several journals. I've got a couple of book chapters. And so, all of my experience from undergraduate research is what kind of laid the foundation of teaching me how to do that, which is really good for me.
Okay. Well, you kind of already answered question 4, so we don't need to go there.
Okay.
But I think one of the things that I think you can really inspire the students about. You were probably, if my memory serves me well, since I've been here anyway, probably one of the most involved undergraduate students that we had in the program, in terms of your extracurriculars and other things, as well as being in a what most people consider a difficult major. Do you have any suggestions for the students on how to balance that, being in, involvement and being in the major?
Right. So in college, I was in a sorority. I also participated from time to time in orchestra. I also participated in freshman associates and student government. And then I was Miss USM in 2013 and 2015. So it was kind of a lot on my plate. And looking back, it really was a lot on my plate. And I think the most important thing is time management. It's fine to be involved in several things as long as you have a good handle on, the priority. School should always come first. Even to this day, as an adult out of school, learning and my job comes first, and everything else kind of has to fall on the back burner. But as long as you have good time management skills and, you're willing to sacrifice, well, maybe I shouldn't go to the game, or maybe I shouldn't go to X, Y, or Z in order to better prepare for something I really want to be involved in. That's what really makes all the difference. I mean, it's a good skill to learn, after you're out of school. You're still going to need good time management skills, and you're still going to have a lot on your plate as an adult, no matter what you do. So I think that's probably my best advice. Okay.
Yeah, and not to forget, not only Miss USM, but Miss Mississippi, right? So in 2015.
I'm retired now.
But that was definitely a year of a lot of activity.
It was a year of excitement for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you had to, so I'll let you finish off by giving them any advice you want. But what I've kind of prompted people with on this is, if you had to go back and talk to your freshman self, what piece of advice would you give yourself today, knowing what you know now?
I would say to hang in there. Maybe you're not happy with the grades you're making. Maybe it's a B and you just really wanted an A, or maybe your friends are in an easier major and, they have more time to do whatever it is. I would just say, if this is what you really want, you need to hang in there, regardless of what others might say, or if your advisor is even suggesting an easier major. If it's something that you really want and you're willing to put in the time and the work and apply yourself, you can make it happen, and don't get discouraged, from other opinions, and, you can do whatever you set your mind to.
All right. Fantastic advice. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule. I know you're doing your residency right now, and you're pulling some long shifts. So I really do thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to talk with our incoming freshman students. And I am sure they're going to find your comments inspiring. And so thank you again.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
Good to see you.